Good afternoon, Malaysia. Welcome to Lim Ren En Live. And today we have a very, very special guest. So welcome to the Lim Ren En Live, and this is a live show, as you can see. Mistakes are done, but it's okay. This is a live show. Now, this show is dedicated to improve the life of people who want a positive change. Now, I have the privilege to know many successful people through my business, and I have witnessed many, many amazing stories of successful people who come from humble beginnings and made it in life. There is a formula of success, and you too can be a successful person. So today we welcome a very special guest, Cherryl Chitty Tan. Cheryl is a popular name in the arts and performing world. Now, Cheryl made her debut, her professional debut at the age of 15 in KL, performing at the Actors Studio Bangsar. She has been working in Singapore for the last 6 years and now starring in plays, musicals, and television series. Now, her notable stage roles include Juliet for Shakespeare's in the Park, Empress Dowager Cixi in Forbidden City, now for which she was nominated for a Live Theatre Award, and Ivy Chan in Beauty World. Now on TV, she has played leads in Faculty, Derek Seasons 1 and 2, Code of Law, and Paddle Up. She has a Cameronian Arts Award for Best Performer in Leading Role, and internationally, Cheryl appeared in an acclaimed HBO show, Westworld, alongside Aaron Paul. Now, she was also nominated for a Woman for the Future Award. So Cheryl has directed and also directing and produced a sold-out run of Follow the Light in Malaysia and has won several prizes at the Short+Sweet KL Festival for her direction and for writing. Now, she is currently working on writing on lyrics for a musical and also creating a solo show. Cheryl is represented by Fly Entertainment in Singapore, Claire Bowen in Australia, and Zero Gravity in the United States. Now, she has recently auditioned for the production of Netflix and BBC. Cheryl is also a certified singing teacher trained at the New York Vocal Coaching and maintains a private voice studio online. Here we go. Welcome, Cheryl Tan. Hi, how are you, Cheryl? Welcome to the show. It is such a privilege to have you here. You know, my friends and agent was asking me, "Oh my God, you got Cheryl Tan on your show this week?" I said,
How did they know who I am?
because they were following your show, Derek's season 1 and 2.
Oh, that's
You know?
awesome.
So
I
they
hope
asked
you guys
me, could you get Tom Cruise to come to your show? I say, okay, later maybe. I will let Cheryl Tan become a big star in Hollywood first.
Okay, no problem. When I make friends with Tom Cruise, I will definitely ask him and be like, "Hey, man,
Yes.
come be on Renan's show."
Now, if you are having regular drinks with Tom Cruise, I'd like to be invited one day.
No problem. I'm sure it will happen.
So
If I
welcome,
bring-
Cheryl, to the show. It is amazing to have you here. A beautiful, very, very good jazz performer and a theater songbird. I always call her a songbird. You know what I like about Cheryl is that Cheryl, you has this soft, youthful Asian voice that is, I mean, I say a lot of Angmo cannot do it lah. You know, it has to be Asian to actually have that voice to sing.
People do sometimes tell me I sound like Lea Salonga, and she is indeed Asian, so I guess that makes sense somehow.
Yes. So tell us a bit of yourself, Cheryl. Tell us about yourself and tell us a little bit about your family.
Okay, I am from KL. I'm from TTDI. Hello. I know Renan through my dad because they are friends and hang out together. I have been performing since I was a child, and when I was a kid, I always used to be the kind of very lonely and not having friends and reading a lot of books, and so I got really into anything that is like story related to kind of be an escape from lonely childhood. And then I started singing when I was about 11 years old because my dad had a stack of musical theater CDs in the house that I got really really into, and then so my entire high school life was just all about musicals and musical theater. And I started doing like show choirs. I was in the Young KL Singers, and I used to perform in school a lot. And suddenly, before I knew it, I grew up and became a professional actor.
Wow, that must be you know, a super process to go through, right? And I think your family does influence you quite a bit in this musical journey, right? Your
Yeah.
parents, right? Does so, and I think in a way your life has been blessed. You have wonderful parents, wonderful siblings, and a very good background. So, but yet again, it takes so much effort to make it right, to actually break through.
Yeah, I would say that if you are into this kind of thing, you have to just be very persistent and you have to have your eyes open about stuff. I'm quite lucky with my family because you hear a lot of people saying there's like, oh, traditional Asian parents don't want you to go into arts because you're not going to be able to make money. And my parents really never said anything like that. Although, of course, they do worry about my finances a lot. Less so now. Nowadays, every time I talk to my parents, I tell them how much money I have saved in the bank, and that kind of helps them to
Yeah,
like calm down a bit. But a few years ago, it was a bit like, oh, Cheryl, what's going on?
true.
Um, but my siblings are very, very interesting people as well. You know, my brother is a political commentator.
Yep, a
He's quite
very
well
famous
known.
one in KL,
Yeah, and
in
my sister's
Malaysia.
in education. She's trying to help to reform education for young Malaysians, one private school at a time, or something like that. And so, we all have these rather interesting career paths and these interesting non-conformist ideals that we work towards. So I'm quite fortunate in that way.
Now, you started training, musical training at a very young age. So, what age did you start taking teaching
Oh
school, piano classes, and all that?
gosh, funny story. So like every middle class household, we had piano lessons, and they were kind of forced on me as usual, and I wasn't really into it. I think just the exam system is a bit difficult for young children, and I used to hide from my piano teacher. Like my there's a famous story within my family where they came home one day and I was hiding behind the couch, and they asked me what was going on, and I said I'm hiding from the piano teacher. And that's when I learned to stop trusting adults because they clearly sold me out very quickly after that. But I was quite naughty, so I went through five or so teachers because they couldn't tahan me because I was terrible. And then my parents were like, okay, fine, 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 donate, donate, donate. And then later on, when I was 13, I started taking piano again because I wanted to, because I thought it was cool. Uh, and when I started singing, I think I was like kind of 11, 12, 13, just by accident. Someone wasn't able to do the concert that we were performing for my class when I was 11 years old. So the teacher was just like, oh, you try lor. And I was like, okay. And then from then on, I became like the singer in school, one of the singers in school. So it was school, and I found opportunities outside to train. My mom sent me to drama classes when I was a kid as well because I think I was very shy, and so she sent me to speech and drama classes to kind of get me out of her shell. And so I've been taking those classes since I was 7, basically. Yeah, I've been performing since I was 7 years old. Good Lord.
So, your mom has really succeeded in taking you out of the shelf.
Yes,
Yep.
perhaps too much.
Now you're a professional performer. So, you did spend quite some time in New York learning about the art of singing and performing. Now, tell us about your life in New York as an Asian singer. Was it hard being an
Well,
Asian?
yeah, so actually I went to school in Connecticut. My time in the US was like this. I spent 3 years in Connecticut studying at Wesleyan University. Then I spent a summer in San Jose interning for the North American Taiko Conference because I used to play Japanese drums, and I was like quite serious about it. So I was doing that, and then I spent my time in New York, where I was sort of wandering around because I was an apprentice to a Japanese drummer for a while, and I also was doing an internship at a jazz venue, and I was also sort of finding my feet as a performer. So it was a very exploratory time. I didn't like get very far because I ran out of money and a visa before I could get a foot in the door. But I did a few operas, strangely. I did a couple of operas when I was in New York, and I was in rehearsal for a play when I had to come home.
All right. So I want you to do one thing. Say hi to Betty. Betty say pretty and talented.
Hi Betty, thank you for the compliment. Thank you.
And say hi
Please follow
to
me on
Bob.
Instagram.
Bob is here. He tell you to break a leg.
Yes. Krak. Welcome back from Sabah.
Yep. And he did, So after New York, you came back to KL and Singapore to pursue your dream, right? So you came back to doing singing and doing performance. Now tell us, what was it like to work as an artist in Singapore? I think will it be easier for you in Singapore?
Yes. Yeah, Singapore, I would actually say is much easier. And there's a few like very practical reasons for this. One is that one is, being an English-speaking Chinese presenting person, because I'm Chindian actually. There's a lot more opportunity. There's a lot more television being produced that needs people who look and sound like me. And for the theatre scene as well, it's a much more robust scene because the currency is so strong in Singapore, and because they do believe in supporting art. They see that when they pump money into art, it gets you a big return on investment. So they actually like pump lots of money into the arts federally and on the corporate side as well. So there's just more opportunities basically. And I also find that living in Singapore is cheaper than living in Kuala Lumpur because of the strength of the dollar. So it's definitely easier to survive as an artist here, I think. Yeah.
What about Malaysia? I mean, you've worked a few months in KL, before you go to Singapore. How was it?
Yeah.
Because I think when you came back from New York, you were in KL for some time, and you were singing in jazz gigs around KL. Now, what was the biggest stage in KL and internationally as a jazz? And you are a prolific jazz singer, so tell us a bit about that of singing jazz. What was the biggest stage, and was it difficult? Was it hard, or was it easy to actually make it as a jazz singer here in KL?
I think because of my education and the music that I was exposed to, and kind of my work ethic as well, it was not so. Oh, hey, Mandarin. It wasn't so intense for me to break into the scene. I literally just like reached out and I said, hey, I'm interested in singing and learning about stuff. And Michael Verapan, was very open to it, and he kind of gave me a gig almost right away. And I had a relationship with John Thomas before that. He taught me drums for a little while. And so when I came back and I said, I want to sing, I'm interested in this kind of contemporary jazz music, and I'm looking for someone to sing that kind of stuff with, he got quite excited about it because he also was interested in this like kind of hip contemporary music. So I just kind of took off from there, and I managed to sing in all the clubs and do all the circuits. And I played at the KL International Jazz Festival, which was really nice. And it was a really great time. It was really quite amazing for me artistically. And I really miss it because honestly, I haven't been pursuing my jazz music stuff that much, but I would like to do it again. Yeah, I think the KL International Jazz Festival was probably still like the biggest stage, and it was so exciting at the time. Like, wow, KL has a jazz festival. It's
So,
really cool.
have you done the Borneo one? The one in Kuching, the Borneo Jazz Festival? It's called
I
the Rainforest
haven't.
Jazz Festival.
Yeah, I haven't done Borneo. I haven't done KK. I haven't done Penang either. But it's really, I mean, once I started coming to Singapore a lot more, it was harder to plan, lor.
Yeah, true. But you should do the what do you call the Rainforest Jazz Festival in Kuching. It is
Yeah,
actually inside the
love to.
rainforest.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
I've been
love
there.
to.
It is quite amazing. So
Yeah,
now
me too.
you've done a few things, on show and on TV. So we're gonna play a few clips for you, right? you appear in many shows and drama in Singapore. So we're gonna show some of our audience what you have been through, and you will narrate to us what it is, right? So let's go number one. This is the first one. Tell us about this.
This is City. This is where the Empress Dowager is the last actress. And this is right at the end of the first act, where she's like pushed into a corner and she has to go and put her son on the throne. This is at the Esplanade in Singapore in 2017. So this is my first song in that show. And this is where you meet her for the first time and she's expressing her dreams.
This is you acting as Cixi Taihou, right? Cixi.
Yeah. And she was a concubine before she became the empress.
The most powerful woman.
Yes.
Malaysia.
Empress of China.
Yeah. So you were doing this for how many months and how long was this show running for in Singapore?
The show ran for 3 weeks, I think, and we rehearsed for 1 month before that.
So are they doing a rerun of that show again?
No, maybe in 10 years' time.
So I'm going to put on the volume a bit so that the audience can listen to you sing.
Broken dreams, all in the past. This is my only chance. Love, make me a part of someone who knows me. They've painted my face, they've chosen my past, they've nurtured my pride in the role that they've cast. But inside there's a place that nobody knows. This is my only chance. Love, open my heart. Years of broken dreams, all in the past. This is my only chance. Love, make me a part of someone.
I think this is the role that people in Singapore know me best from. Even though television became a thing after I started doing TV kind of just before this show. And TV has a wider audience, but people still remember me most from this show.
You have an amazing voice, right? It's really good.
Do you know this? Do you know that? Why did you do
What was
this?
this, Cheryl?
This is Derek season 2. It's probably my most liked TV role, where I play a criminal psychologist. Well, she's a state psychologist and she's talking to a serial killer.
Was it fun doing all this drama? I mean, was it tired, I heard a lot of people say it's crazy tired.
Yeah, TV is very tiring. The hours are very long.
Just yes or
14
no?
hours. 12 to 14 hours.
14 hours of
Any
shooting.
contact with Leong Lili after Serenity Lane?
Oh, that's crazy, right? How long does the season goes for? How long does the shooting goes on?
Fine.
Usually you take about 4 days to shoot 1 hour of content.
I'll tell you.
Oh my God, 4 days to shoot 1 hour of content, and I thought doing Facebook Live is hard.
Yeah, there are different locations, there are different...
Excuse me, this lady is not your get out of jail free
I
card.
know who killed Leong Lili.
So, but the editing takes another 5 to 7 days, right? Probably.
I don't know how long it takes to edit one thing actually. I know that they spend quite a long time in post, so it's usually months. Because they have a lot to go from. Yeah, the costumes are great. Yeah.
Say hi to Esther.
Hey Esther, thank you. Thank you for tuning in and
Journalistic
commenting.
integrity.
So what is
I
this?
have to know for sure. So tell me.
So what is this?
This is the guy.
This is Paddles Up. This is a
this
Dragon
where you
Boat
take your
University drama, and I'm playing a plucky
This is where I
student
take my
reporter.
clothes off.
Wow, you get to hang out with all the hunks, right?
Go away.
Yeah,
This is the men's
I
room.
had a lot of shirtless guys.
He slowed down in the race just now. You saw it
This
too,
is
right?
probably my favorite TV project because the character is so funny.
Manhood's fine. Manhood's fine.
Let me say hi again.
She's not wrong.
Thank you, Betty. Oh, Auntie Betty. Yes, I think she's my parents' friend.
Villain
So-
This is Juliet.
This is Juliet.
That's Joe Kukatas,
Villain
famous Malaysian actor also.
My husband. My husband.
This is like the
lives,
norm,
and Tybalt would have
the
slain,
modern
and
part of
Tybalt's
Juliet. It's
dead
not the
and would have slain my
it's not the
husband.
Romeo and Juliet. This is a
All this is
what do you call this? A
comfort.
reinvented kind of.
Yeah, it's a sort of
By then,
the Hong Kong triad-y kind of setting, something like that.
somewhere
Okay.
there was
So
Yeah, that's the most difficult role I've ever done.
now we're gonna show a little bit of your singing
Fantastic
capability.
points
So
of view.
let's listen to Cheryl
No
Tan.
one to tell us no, or where to go, or say we're only dreaming.
a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. But now I'm way up here, it's crystal clear. And now I'm in a whole new world with
Now
you.
I'm in a whole world.
Unbelievable sights, indescribable feeling, soaring, tumbling, freewheeling through an endless diamond sky. A whole new
Don't you dare close your
world,
eyes.
100,000
Hold your breath,
things
it
to
gets
see.
better.
I'm like a shooting star. I've come so far. I can't go back to where I used to be. Every turn is surprise.
Alright.
Every moment's red letter. I'll chase them anywhere. There's time to spare. Let me share this whole new world with you. A whole new world.
A whole new world.
That's where we'll be.
That's where we'll be.
A thrilling
A
chase.
wondrous place for you and
I must say, Cheryl, that was amazing. You know,
Thank you.
I particularly enjoyed the whole new world, the narration by you. It is so clear. You know, you portray that youthful, forward-looking, and hopeful Princess Jasmine so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh gosh,
You know,
sorry.
I thought,
And my duet partner,
yeah,
that,
who is your
that
duet
guy,
partner? Who is the guy?
yeah, Aaron Teo, he was recently on a world tour of The King and I,
Ah,
playing Prince Chulalongkorn. He's the second Malaysian to play that role. So, you know, he was working with like proper West End performers and being a professional in London. Like, yeah, so he's a super cool guy. He's a childhood friend of mine.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So say hi to a few more people. Shanti is saying hi.
Hey.
Wave. So if you like to say hi to Cheryl, please say hi to her. She'll be sharing a lot of her works here today. We will see another 2 more clips of what she's doing. And we have Andrew. Andrew is Dato Andrew.
Oh,
He say,
thank
say
you,
hi.
Dato.
He's so proud of you.
See
She
you.
said you'll be the future superstar.
I'm trying very hard. Trying my
Right.
best.
So let's
Yeah.
go to the second clip. This one shows a little bit different from what you did. This is
Melissa. It's very rare.
This
Cheryl
is
Tan
the
star.
award-winning
When I
role
approached her to
that
do Malay
you
related
got.
content, right,
This
I would
is
say yes.
the one that
And then
won
she's
you
like,
the both
"You know what?
Cameronian
I'll do
Arts
my job."
Award
I was like,
2020
"Whoa,
for
now
Best
I play the
Performing
show
in a
that
Leading
Cheryl
Role,
always brings this
the Malaya
amazingly
Relief, the
positive
Penang
vibe
Riots.
to her. So
Tell us a
she's
bit of
very
this.
eager and very open to
Yeah,
trying
so
things
this
all
is
the
a
time.
show
She is
that took
the
place
champion.
at GMBB KL. It takes place in like a little, like just like a shop, very small, 80 people. The show is about, it's a sort of historical fiction reimagining of what life might have been during like the 1880s in Penang when opium was like a big deal, and we sort of follow this woman while she deals with her lack of a husband and changing times with, like, sometimes they become very rich and then sometimes they just, like, you know, they just became extremely poor. because of opium and I don't know, like weird life in Penang in the 1880s. It was really fun. This is a show that I took in KL. It's the first musical I've done that I performed in Kuala Lumpur in a very long time. And I did it because I wanted to be closer to my auntie who was suffering. She was battling cancer at the time, and she actually passed away on the weekend of the show itself, which was quite difficult. But the people in the show were very lovely and very supportive, and completely unexpectedly, I also won an award. My first Cameronian Art Award and my first acting award win. So that's really exciting. I'm very like, wow, cool about that.
I'm so sorry to hear about that, your auntie. You know, my
Yeah,
condolence to you.
yeah, thanks very
No,
much.
tell us about the feeling of winning that Bo Cameronian. It is like one of the biggest arts award, right, in KL in Malaysia.
Yeah, it's quite cool. Yeah, my first experience with the Cameronian Arts Awards was, back in 2004, I want to say, because the Young KL Singers, who I was a part of, we got nominated for like Audience Choice Awards or something. Hi, Wei Feng. If you have any questions, hi Marilyn, like, type them in if you want to. Yeah, and at that time in 2004, the Cameronian Arts Awards was still like grand, like really intense Mandarin Oriental, like after parties, wine and food, and like it was really, really crazy. And I just thought like, wow, this is so cool. I would love to win an award one day. And I was nominated for Forbidden City for the Live Theatre Awards, and I didn't win. And I was like, oh, okay, that's all right. And they people train you to sort of like not care too much about awards because it's not the true work at the end of the day. It's just like some recognition, right? And you don't. It's based on people's opinions, so it's very subjective, but it still feels really good.
Of course, it should feel very good, you did so well. You're coming back, and then in the short 5-6 years, you have done so many things, so many theaters, so many shows, dramas, and all that. And then you landed in a role in Westworld, a HBO series. It is like the second biggest kind of thing after Games of Thrones, right? That's the second biggest. Now, if you guys are HBO buffs, you should know Westworld. So let us play a clip on Westworld where Cheryl actually plays a part in this.
Yep. So that's me hanging out with Aaron Paul.
Now, what was the feeling of playing in such a big production? Was there a difference between HBO production and what you have done in MediaCorp in Singapore?
Yep. Yeah, definitely a many $100,000 difference. Yeah, it was crazy. I got to meet Jonathan Nolan, who was the director. I got to work with him. He's the brother of Chris Nolan, who directed Inception. Yeah.
Who directed Inception? Okay.
Yeah, so those people, and it was just crazy though. Honestly, they are so on top of their game. Their vision is so precise. Everybody is so good at what they do, and like in KL and Singapore, productions are more like people are just trying to save money as much as they can. So a lot of people are, kind of really, really tired all the time. Sometimes the expertise is like not quite there, and there's a lot of difficulty. So people don't manage to really fulfill their creative visions. But with a budget like HBO and people like Jonathan Nolan and Aaron Paul, who is a genius, complete genius and super nice guy, it's just really fulfilling to just see people really going 100% full out to create the best thing that they can create, and that was really just like such a great thing to be a part of. Yeah.
Say, Mahindran said another Malaysian who is doing us proud overseas.
Thank you.
Go,
Thanks.
Cheryl. So now you have done so well in life. You have done since you graduated at 22, 23, then you came back and you have done so many things. I think you have done a lot of progress moving on. So what is next on your agenda to stardom? What is your plan breaking into Hollywood?
Yeah, I'm trying to break into Hollywood. It's a lot of work. It's a completely different game than here. Honestly, here, it's not like I'm really constantly working all the time, but the pond is a lot smaller, so it's actually not so crazy difficult. Like if you're quite good and you are smart, then you can survive, and you can definitely survive. Over there, everybody is very, very good. Everybody is very, very hungry, and things like move really fast. So I'm taking a business course, business for actors, that is training me to try and figure out how to handle the Hollywood game. I recently got signed by Zero Gravity, which is they're a production company as well. They created Ozark, the show on Netflix, and like Willem Dafoe is one of their clients, one of their actors. So I'm hoping to, get some good auditions and good connections through my manager from there. And I'm just trying to train and get better at time management and get better at acting, so that I can, so I can work with them, as well as thank you, Nicholas, as well as my Australian agent, to try and like just get better at it until I can penetrate. Hopefully I just get something out. I just want to get like a few shows that would be enough for me. That would just really be crazy. But yeah, it's really important to me that I try to level up, that I try to like improve and like push further and do something else that's different and more interesting. Yeah. Just keep trying.
Yeah, I think with your dedication and hard work, I think you will be there someday. Now you have something on the side. No, I think something that you're seriously doing. You have a vocal school online. Tell us about that. What is your plan? Are you teaching vocals online now?
Yeah. So obviously, so I've been in 2015. I went back to my teacher in New York. My I really love and admire and respect him like crazy. His name is Justin Stoney, and he founded this school called New York Vocal Coaching, and he's incredible. He's taught people who have won Tony Awards. Like he's just really, really up there, and he has a teacher training course, and I was always very interested in his work and his philosophy and helping people to sing, because I think that's the most beautiful thing that you can give to someone. And I think that a lot of singing teachers are just not very good, frankly, because they just whack lah, honestly, sometimes. Right? There are many amazing singing teachers, but I just thought when I was growing up, nobody had taught me how to belt properly, because we just didn't have that expertise in KL when I was growing up that I knew of, right? And I thought that was something that I could bring back here. So I did that, and I've been sort of teaching on the side. And then now when COVID-19 hit, because all the acting work just completely disappeared right now, it's like, wow, okay, I guess it's time to really push hard on the teaching stuff. So I started like promoting my work. I started advertising a lot on Instagram, and now my vocal studio has really grown, and I love it. There's nothing like the feeling that you get when someone was so afraid, or so it's like really desperate to be able to make this kind of sound, and they can't do it, and you just sort of figure out the way to get through to them, and then they can do it. It's like a miracle, really. So now I teach about 17 hours a week, and that's something that I want to juggle, and it's something that balances me out, because acting is is very self-centered. Like the acting world is very like me, 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 look at 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 me. And then the singing world, like, and when you're teaching, it's really all about helping someone else. So it really helps me to feel okay about my acting work, because it makes me just, feel like I'm not the most important thing in this entire world. There's other people who need me and who I want to help as well. Yeah, so I think that I've really improved a lot as a singing teacher, and I think that I can confidently say that because I am empathetic, because I know how to see where people are and where they're coming from and what is actually getting in the way, and I know how to like break things down for a student as well. Like I'm getting a lot better at being like, okay, this is the thing that you need to work on, and I prescribe it specifically for you. And I've seen results from my students, so I can confidently now say that like I think I'm quite good, and that's a great feeling. Also from a financial perspective.
Yep. So tell me, what kind of age do you receive? Now, from what age to what age do you teach?
Well, my youngest is 6. She's very animated. And my oldest, I think she must be like 45 or so. Yeah, like around 50. Yeah, the age, it's all ages.
So now I have 2 girls who wanted to learn singing for the longest time, and I couldn't find them a proper singing teacher. Now you're in Singapore and I'm in KL. How does this work?
I teach online. Yeah, because
What's the effect?
pandemic, right? So they were not allowing live singing lessons to be conducted live, plus social distancing requirements. So I actually just have been teaching online for the last since February, lor.
Is
Yeah.
it the same? The sound quality that transpired through technology to your ears, and by being live, I mean, does it affect your teaching quality through technology?
I would say that it's definitely easier to read more things when you are face to face, because you get to see the whole body, you get to read like their body language, they get to see you, and you get to vibe together and all that. So it's definitely preferred, but I have found that if you get a USB microphone, so I've been recommending all my students get a USB mic, right? And if you use headphones, then the sound quality is really greatly improved. Yeah. And so I've definitely gotten like really good results, but I do remember that when it was face to face, it's a nicer feeling lah. Yeah, but still can.
Yeah. So can you tell us, what are the charges to attend your classes?
Oh, my class is 100 Sing dollars per hour.
Okay.
But if you are in financial difficulty and the student has a lot of potential, then you can talk to me. Or if you are an artist yourself and you are obviously having a bit of financial difficulty, whatever, we can also talk. So I have those rates to support the community and give back to the community a bit lah.
So nice of you, Cheryl, to do that. Another positive.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Message for you. Now,
I see that you're very passionate about DAP also.
Yes. So let's not turn this to political. DAP is really suffering now. No.
DAP is suffering now, or dear?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, this is a live show. We cannot discuss that. So, now tell us a bit of the online. Yes, we have done that. Okay. If you were met a little girl who sings all day long and has a dream to pursue a life of a singer and an artist, what would you tell her?
I would tell her to start looking for the opportunities. I would tell her that if you're very young, and with the internet now, there's a lot of resources, but you have to go and chase down the business side, and to chase down the opportunities, and to chase down the training that you're going to need as well. Because it's a lot harder than you might think. And it's okay, it's totally doable. And the main thing I would say to people like that is the number one predictor of success is resilience and persistence.
Resilience
You have to
and
keep
passion,
going.
right? And you were
It's
telling
resilience and passion.
and you were telling me just now before the show that you are actually going to some business courses to make business sense into your performing career, which you see a
Yeah.
lot of artists are not doing that. So tell us a bit on that.
Yeah, so the course that I'm taking now, it's business for actors, and it's run by this Hollywood actor named Valerie Hubbard, and it's very methodical. It's very like, this is how, hello Satwinder, nice to see you. So it's very like, this is how you should brand yourself. This is who you should think of as your clients. This is how you should think of yourself as the CEO of a business. Your manager is not your boss. You are your boss. If your manager is earning 10% of the pay, if you are earning 90%, you should be doing 90% of the work as well, right? And it's like how to think of yourself as a product, and for the product to have customers, and how to find the customers, and how to like keep track of them, and then it's going to go into like how to negotiate a contract, how to all these things that I really wish I had known before. But of course, before I was a lot more idealistic and a lot more optimistic about things coming through just based on my talent alone. And if you're extremely talented, then okay, maybe you're just very, very good, and you just work at your craft and things will. And to be fair, most of my things early on did come that way, but when you want to level up, then you need to know what's going on now. I am I'm very passionate about trying to help other artists to find their feet in business, actually, because I have seen, several of my artist friends really struggling, being like a bit older, struggling to pay rent, having extreme stress and anxiety and depression because they don't have money. And first of all, I refuse to be like that. There's like no way. I really like cannot. I can't fathom that kind of life for myself. It's too stressful. And I feel that for a lot of artists, they just don't think they can. They don't think that they will ever be able to be comfortable. Not to say be rich, yeah, just be secure a bit, right? And I want to send a message that that's not true at all. And it's a skill set that you have to work on, and that you're going to be bad at it at first, but you will improve at it. Even like, yeah, so I've organized like financial planning workshops for artists. I didn't talk about it. Like, I got my friend to like talk about it, and that's another one of my sort of callings, I guess. Is that I just yell at people about business all day long. Really? Hello, how are you? Yes, okay. Are you okay? Can you make rent? How are you trying to make more money? Like, are you doing all right? Do you have insurance? Call Renan,
Yeah, so happened I am the financial planner and also the insurance person for Cheryl's family. Yeah, if you need any help on financial planning, to talk sense to people on how to actually put their money aside and this and that, call me. I'm more than willing to do a show for your people, for artists and all that. I think they need it. A lot of artists are very bad in. I know guitarists and gigs guys who actually buy the next gadget and the next gadget and the next gadget and the next gadget every time they get paid. So and they have problem buying food the next day.
And I can understand that, like, you can see those things as like they're investments for your work, because it's good to have like more equipment and have these things, but you need to also be able to take those investments and sell and go and convert it and get a return. And if it doesn't, even if it's not like an immediate financial return, you need to be making those connections or making those things that are going to lead to something that gets you something, Yeah.
Now, if times rolls back, Cheryl, if you have a choice to choose your life again, would would you live your life differently?
If I could talk to a younger version of Cheryl,
Yep.
I would tell her that she needs to work a lot harder, and I would give her a sense of. I would go back to Cheryl at maybe like 13, if I could, and I would say, this is where you're at, and this is the standard of your competitors who are actually going to be able to like make it to Broadway. And if you really train your butt off now, and you're smart about where to go and how to do it, and you work a lot harder, then maybe you can. It's terrible, isn't it?
Nah, it's okay. It is honest advice. So, one piece of advice for dreamers outside. For dreamers out there who are pursuing a life, there are many, many musicians, many, many performers who are still trying. What would you say to them as a person who has actually made it, in a certain form? Yeah. What would you say to them?
You must be persistent, and you must understand that it's really tough. Yeah, you have to just keep going, and you have to get very comfortable with very, very hard work and very, very difficult times. Difficult. Yeah, you have to work your butt off, lah, basically.
Thank you, Cheryl, for coming to the show. Our show has come to an end. It has been amazing talking to you. I knew you from when you first came back from US from a holiday, right? When you're 21, 22, maybe I saw you in a house. I still remember that day. Yeah, your mom make butter cookies for us. I was having tea. That's the first time I saw you. Anyway, and to see you progress so well, moving forward and being somebody now in the arts and performing world, it really, really it makes me very happy to see that. I'm so proud to have you as a friend. Thank you for coming to the show. It is amazing to have you.